What kind of mind finds pleasure in unfathomable cruelty? Heinrich Himmler, the architect behind the SS, transformed a simple bodyguard unit into a terrifying symbol of Nazi power and brutality. Under his command, the SS orchestrated the Holocaust, conducted gruesome medical experiments, and indulged in occult rituals, merging mysticism with murder. Himmler's cold-blooded curiosity and meticulous attention to detail made the genocide chillingly efficient. Stay with us to uncover the depths of his disturbing amusement and the horrors it unleashed. So what kind of horrors did Heinrich Himmler orchestrate? Let's get started. And remember to let us know in the comments what topics you'd like us to cover next. The SS and its role. The Schutzstaffel, known as the SS, was formed in 1925 as a small personal bodyguard unit for Adolf Hitler. It was initially part of the SA, Sturmabteilung, or stormtroopers, tasked with protecting Nazi party leaders and disrupting the meetings of political opponents. However, under the leadership of Heinrich Himmler, the SS underwent a dramatic transformation, growing from a minor paramilitary group into one of the most powerful and feared organizations in Nazi Germany. Himmler took command of the SS in 1929, and his vision and organizational skills were instrumental in reshaping the unit. He expanded the SS's role beyond personal security, establishing it as a key instrument of Nazi ideology and state control. Himmler was determined to create an elite corps that would exemplify the Nazi ideals of racial purity, loyalty, and discipline. To this end, he imposed strict selection criteria based on racial background, physical fitness, and ideological commitment, ensuring that only those who met these stringent standards could join the SS. Under Himmler's leadership, the SS was divided into several branches, each with specific functions. The Allgemeine SS, or General SS, was responsible for internal security and the enforcement of Nazi policies. At the same time, the Waffen-SS, Armed SS, served as a combat force alongside the regular German army, or Wehrmacht. The Totenkopfverbände, Death's Head units, managed the concentration and extermination camps, where millions of Jews, Romani people, political dissidents, and other persecuted groups were imprisoned and murdered. Additionally, the Sicherheitsdienst, or SD, was the intelligence arm of the SS, tasked with gathering information on enemies of the state and maintaining surveillance over the population. Himmler's influence over the SS was profound and multifaceted. He centralized power within the organization, ensuring it operated independently of the traditional military and political structures. This autonomy allowed the SS to carry out its activities with high secrecy and efficiency. Himmler also infused the SS with his ideological fervor, promoting a cult-like adherence to Nazi principles and a sense of elite status among its members. This ideological indoctrination was reinforced through rigorous training, propaganda, and rituals that emphasized loyalty to Hitler and the Nazi cause. The SS played a central role in the execution of Nazi atrocities and war crimes. It was deeply involved in the implementation of the final solution, the plan to exterminate the Jewish population of Europe. The SS organized and operated a network of concentration and extermination camps where millions of people were systematically killed through gas chambers, forced labor, starvation, and medical experiments. The SS also conducted mass shootings and deportations, particularly in Eastern Europe, where entire communities were annihilated. In addition to its role in the Holocaust, the SS were responsible for numerous other war crimes and acts of terror. The Einsatzgruppen, mobile killing units composed of SS and police personnel, followed the German army into occupied territories, carrying out mass executions of Jews, communists, partisans, and other perceived enemies. The Waffen-SS, known for its brutal tactics, committed atrocities against civilian populations and prisoners of war, often operating with a level of cruelty that shocked even other branches of the German military. The final solution. Heinrich Himmler, one of the most notorious figures of the Nazi regime, played a central role in orchestrating the Holocaust, known as the final solution. This plan aimed at the systemic extermination of 6 million Jews, along with millions of others deemed undesirable by the Nazi ideology, including Romani people, disabled individuals, Polish and Soviet civilians, political prisoners, and homosexuals. At the head of the SS, Schutzstaffel, and later the chief of the German police, Himmler wielded immense power in Nazi Germany. He was the principal architect of the final solution, deeply involved in its planning and implementation. Himmler's ideological fanaticism about racial purity and his administrative acumen made him a key figure in translating Hitler's genocidal visions into reality. He oversaw the creation and operation of the concentration and extermination camps, where millions would meet their deaths. The final solution was formalized at the Wannsee Conference on January 20, 1942, though preparations and mass killings had already begun. Himmler and Reinhard Heydrich, his deputy, played a critical role in this conference, where they outlined the logistics of the genocide. The plan called for the deportation of Jews from across Europe to extermination camps in occupied Poland, where they would be systematically killed. Himmler's SS was responsible for carrying out these plans. Under his command, the SS and Gestapo rounded up Jews and other targeted groups, transporting them to ghettos and camps. The extermination process was industrial in scale and execution, involving gas chambers, mass shootings, forced labor, starvation, and medical experiments. The construction of death camps like Auschwitz, Treblinka, Sobibor, and Belzec was a direct result of Himmler's orders. These camps were designed explicitly for mass murder, equipped with gas chambers and crematoria to kill and dispose of large numbers of people efficiently. Himmler's meticulous attention to detail ensured that the genocide was carried out with horrifying efficiency. Himmler's involvement in the Holocaust was not merely administrative. He took a personal interest in the operations of the concentration and extermination camps. He made numerous visits to these sites, inspecting the facilities and witnessing the executions. These visits served multiple purposes. They allowed Himmler to monitor the efficiency of the killing process, motivate his subordinates, and reinforce the ideology that justified these atrocities. One of the most infamous visits occurred in 1941, when Himmler visited Minsk and witnessed a mass execution by shooting. Reports indicate that Himmler observed the killings with a detached curiosity, demonstrating his cold-blooded nature. Another notable visit was to Auschwitz in 1943, where he inspected the gas chambers and crematoria, ensuring that the camp operated smoothly. Himmler's presence at these sites served as a grim reminder of his commitment to the Nazi cause and his responsibility for the horrors of the Holocaust. His ability to remain unmoved by the suffering he witnessed highlights the depth of his ideological indoctrination and his detachment from basic human empathy. Pseudo-scientific experiments. The experiments conducted in the concentration camps were extensive and varied. One of the most notorious was the hypothermia experiments at Dachau, where prisoners were immersed in ice-cold water to study the effects of extreme cold on the human body. Victims were often left in the water until they lost consciousness, and many died as a result. Other experiments included the testing of sulfonamide drugs on wounds deliberately inflicted on prisoners to study the treatment of battlefield injuries. These wounds were often infected with bacteria, and the subjects were denied proper medical care, leading to severe pain, gangrene, and death. Himmler's interest in and support for these experiments were rooted in his obsession with racial purity and the Nazi ideology of Aryan supremacy. He believed that such experiments would yield valuable information that could be used to improve the health and fighting capabilities of the German people, while simultaneously advancing the pseudo-scientific theories of racial superiority. Himmler provided funding and resources for these experiments and encouraged the participation of prominent Nazi doctors and scientists, including Josef Mengele, who conducted horrific experiments on twins at Auschwitz. Mengele's experiments are among the most infamous. He subjected twins to gruesome procedures, such as injecting them with diseases, performing unnecessary surgeries, and even attempting to change their eye color by injecting chemicals directly into their eyes. The goal was to find ways to increase the Aryan population by understanding and manipulating hereditary traits. The twins who survived Mengele's experiments were often killed and dissected so that their bodies could be studied further. The impact and human cost of these inhumane practices were devastating. Thousands of prisoners suffered excruciating pain, permanent disability, and death as a result of the experiments. The victims were treated as mere objects, stripped of their humanity and subjected to unimaginable horrors. The psychological and physical scars left by these experiments persisted long after the war for those who survived, affecting not only the individuals but also their families and communities. The occult and mysticism. Himmler's interest in these esoteric subjects stemmed from his belief in the superiority of the Aryan race and his desire to reconnect with what he perceived as the ancient, mystical roots of the Germanic people. This fascination was not merely a hobby, but a central element of his ideological framework, which he sought to institutionalize with the Schutzstaffel. Himmler's occult interests were wide-ranging, encompassing a mix of Germanic paganism, Aryan mythology, and pseudo-scientific racial theories. He was particularly drawn to the notion of a pure Aryan heritage and the idea that the Germanic peoples were descendants of a noble and ancient civilization. To Himmler, these beliefs were not just historical curiosities, but essential truths that justified the Nazi quest for racial purity and dominance. He believed that by uncovering and reviving these ancient traditions, the SS could forge a new order rooted in what he saw as the true essence of the Germanic spirit. The integration of occult rituals and symbolism into the SS was a direct manifestation of Himmler's mystical beliefs. The SS was reimagined as more than just a paramilitary organization. It was to be a spiritual and ideological elite, embodying the virtues and purity of the Aryan race. Himmler oversaw the development of elaborate ceremonies, rituals, and symbols that reflected his occult interest. The SS adopted various elements from Germanic mythology, such as the runes, which were used as insignia, and the swastika, which was appropriated as a symbol of Aryan heritage. One of the most significant expressions of this integration was the transformation of Wewelsburg Castle into a center for SS rituals and training. Himmler envisioned the castle as the spiritual heart of the SS, a place where SS officers would undergo indoctrination into the mystical aspects of Nazi ideology. Wewelsburg served as a venue for elaborate ceremonies designed to instill a sense of sacred mission and unity among the SS ranks. These rituals were meant to connect the SS members with the supposed ancient heritage of the Aryan race and reinforce their commitment to the Nazi cause. Himmler's beliefs in the occult and mysticism provided a pseudo-religious justification for the actions of the SS. By framing their mission in mystical terms, Himmler was able to present the SS's brutal and genocidal policies as a sacred duty. The dehumanization of Jews, Slavs, and other groups targeted by the Nazis was rationalized through a twisted interpretation of history and mythology, which depicted these groups as threats to the purity and survival of the Aryan race. This ideological framework allowed Himmler and his followers to view their atrocities not as crimes, but as necessary and righteous acts to serve a higher spiritual goal. So, how do you think someone can become capable of unimaginable cruelty? Please let us know in the comments section below, and remember to like and share. Also, hit the subscribe button to get notifications on the latest uploads on the channel. As always, see you in the following video.